Welcome to the Leadership Summit 2016. This summit has become a very important event in the calendar of the Nelson Mandela Bay, and it is my great pleasure to welcome back those that have attended the previous leadership summits that we have been holding since 2014. But I would also like to welcome those that are attending it for the first time, and I can promise you, you are going to have a fantastic day today. My name is Bridget Gassa, and I've been given the humbling honor to be your program director for the entire day today. I'd like to welcome some of the keynote speakers that have already joined us. Some are still finding their way to the venue. I would also like to welcome our distinguished sponsors that have consistently done what they do in providing this platform for us to talk about anything and everything pertaining to leadership. Every year we see a phenomenal growth to these events, and they've really become this kind of platform that we look forward to have a dialogue and engagement one to another. So welcome, feel at home, this is your place, and we look forward to a two-way conversation that we will have with you. I'm not the most techno-literate person, but I've been asked for those that do know these things to kindly request you to tweet. And they've given you a tag that you can use at NMMU_BS. Whatever nuggets that you get out of the presentations that we're going to have from our key speakers today, please feel free to share those with a larger audience that's external to this room. They said I must ask you to use the hashtag NMB Leadership Summit, and I'm sure those of you that are well versed in doing those things would gladly share what we are doing here today with people that couldn't make it here. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge the fact that these kinds of summits, these kinds of events do not happen all by themselves. They happen through very great partnerships that we have formed over the years with our major sponsors. And I'd like to acknowledge them this morning, even before we begin the program. And these are Times Media, PwC, Standard Bank, Metro Security, Angeli Enterprise Development. You would find in the foyer just next to where you may have taken your cup of coffee and tea, there are desks and their exhibition areas. Whenever we do have a break, I'd like to kindly request you to make your way to visit those desks and those stations. Standard Bank did say that sometime during the day, they would be having a lucky draw. And I said to them, I hope it's a blank check. So it encourages you to stay for the course of the day, because they didn't tell me whether it's going to happen during tea time or lunch or the afternoon tea. So we really thank Standard Bank for that. But to kick off this morning, I would like to invite Mr. Alfred da Costa, who has been a founder and a member of Ukuvula Foundation, and spearheaded this partnership that they formed together with NMMU and the Herald to present these leadership summits year in, year out. Alfred da Costa, which most of us know as Alfie, is a true son of the soil. He comes from the Nelson Mandela Bay. He's a well-known businessman, and he has made an impact both locally and with a national reach. An inspirational leader from whom most of us have drawn so much knowledge, wisdom, and the like. A natural of note who doesn't speak often about the work that he does, not only through the foundation, but many of other social entrepreneurship events that he engages himself in. So Alfred has been the key cog amongst many that decided to provide this kind of platform, and as is per protocol, he usually starts off these by making all of us welcome, including myself. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Alfred da Costa to come and welcome all of us as we start.
Bridget, you set high benchmarks. It's going to be very difficult for me to match that, but I'll try my best. As per your guidance, I've got to obviously welcome you, and I'd like to start by welcoming you. But on a serious note, Bridget had to cut short a trip of hers to Paris to be with us here today. Consistent with the theme of these leadership, she's a leader in her own right. Many of you will know that she's very essentially involved in the National Planning Commission. Bridget was also the chairperson of the board of the business school, amongst many other leadership positions that she holds, and also an inspiration for many of us, but in particular for female entrepreneurs. So please help me to welcome Bridget, and let's give her a warm round of applause. Bridget, it's indeed a pleasure and a deep privilege for me to be part of this leadership event, and more so now than ever before in this beautiful country and this metro of ours. I'm convinced, Ellen, and you touched on many of these issues yesterday, that this country has all of the ingredients to become a country that many would dream of and aspire to. But what we need to focus on is to take all of these ingredients that we have and mix it in the proper proportions and bake it in the manner that we would get that cake that we all going to be proud of. And what is required for us to do that is good leadership. We've seen some evidence just recently in our city where just with slight improvement in leadership, the disproportional benefits that we've seen in the improvement in our city. And I'm convinced that we can do it. Your attendance here today is evidence of the fact that we are all committed. You wouldn't attend an event of this nature if you didn't deem it necessary to equip yourself better, to draw inspirations and lessons from other leaders and implement those lessons in whatever sphere of influence you operate in. So with that kind of backdrop, you can understand my passion for being involved in initiatives such as the Leadership Summit. This summit has been running for a number of years, and our intention is to persist with this initiative, but to improve on it, to develop it and some of its attributes and characteristics in a way that it becomes not just an event, but it becomes a platform for leadership improvement, leadership enhancement, leadership nurturing, and I'm confident that we will achieve that. We've had numerous approaches from parties who are keen to assist with that, and we welcome that initiative. The vision of the summit, it's quite simple. It's to nurture, develop good leadership, and ethical, committed, values-based leadership, and it is achievable. I'm comfortable that it remains the vision, and we can tweak the how as to how this leadership is implemented, but the vision itself has to remain, and we have to be committed. My task is simple this morning. I've got to welcome all of you. I'd like to isolate a number of people for no particular reason, but just to isolate and enhance their roles for not just today, but throughout the year. And I'd like to start off with welcoming the person who's founded this initiative with me, a person who's very, very committed to this metro and has played a pivotal role in many initiatives. Professor Kobus Jonker, who heads up the graduate component of the business school. I'd like to warmly welcome Kobus Jonker. So let's give Professor Jonker a good round of applause. Kobus and his colleagues at the business school is an absolute pleasure to work with. They are committed, and we share this commitment to develop leadership. So it really is a synergistic partnership. We also have the privilege of having the newly appointed Dean of the Faculty of Economic Sciences at the Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University, Professor Ismail Lachardin. I'd like us to also warmly welcome him. Of course, we've got a very illustrious lineup of speakers, and reading through the CVs of the speakers, the one common thread that struck me is that all of these speakers, without exception, are deeply committed South Africans who have thus far in their careers given so much to make a difference in this country and in the many organizations that they're involved in. I'll start off with Ellen Notcraig, who I've known for many years. I invited him and his dad many years ago when I was head of the Chamber of Commerce. And Ellen, at that stage, when you were much younger, you're still young, you, in combination with your dad, delivered a very inspiring talk. Ellen inspired all of us last night with a very relaxed way in which you conveyed very powerful leadership lessons. So Ellen now is executive chairman of a very exciting techno-based company that does very interesting work throughout the city and throughout the country and the continent. He'll speak about that a bit later. So Ellen, a warm welcome to you. Let's Dr. Bonang Mohale, Vice President and Chairman of Shell South Africa. Bonang, I'm convinced that you need no introduction. You're known for your interesting comments and speeches and your various roles in the BMF and many other initiatives that some people like and some others don't. But you've also demonstrated your commitment to this country in no uncertain terms. Let's welcome Dr. Mohale as well. Dr. Tami Mazwai. Tami, last night, one of my colleagues from the foundation alluded to the impact that you've made throughout the years, your passion for small business and entrepreneurship, and again, last night, that came through strongly. Dr. Tami Mazwai is now special advisor to the Minister of Small Business. So let's warmly welcome Dr. Mazwai as well. We've been able to secure Mr. Mondli Makanya, who's editor-in-chief at the City Press, also an illustrious career as a journalist in South Africa. So I'd like us to also warmly welcome Mondli from Mr. Themba Baloyi, a real inspirational entrepreneur who has founded and is now executive director of the Discovery Life. we're really excited to draw from your lessons in your journey of building Discovery Life. Let's warmly welcome Themba as well. Mr. Sevros Nikolai, I've had a good privilege to listen to Sevros at another event in Johannesburg last year, and I was so inspired. I encourage our event organizer, Charmaine Smith, to really try and secure Sevros's participation in this summit. So we're very, very pleased to have Sevros here as well. He's been central in developing ESPN. ESPN is, as most of you know, a serious investor in this region, and the business has made a profound impact on the socio-economic landscape of this region. So very welcome to you, Sevros. Let's give him a warm round of applause as well. I hope our speakers feel welcome. I would have liked you guys to have clapped a bit more, but the final clap now that you're going to do, that will be a good clap. Let's make our speakers feel seriously welcome. So let's give them the final clap. Thank you very much. Bridget has alluded to our supporters who have generously, some of them come in from year to year, and I'd like to acknowledge all of them. PricewaterhouseCoopers, in particular the managing partner locally here, who's also known for his passion for our city. Thank you very much for Andrea for your support. The Standard Bank, we have to acknowledge the presence of some of the senior execs here, and also in particular in his absence, thank Gary Markson, who's just been appointed as Provincial Director of Standard Bank, a real inspiring leader who I have no confidence, I have full confidence will make a huge impact in this region. Also, Engeli, represented here by Dr. Ricardo Dames and his colleagues, Wayne Oosthuizen and others. Thank you very much for your participation. Also, we have Metro Security, represented by the Managing Director, Lawrence Parents and his colleagues. Thank you very much for your participation. The media, the Herald, we've had the Herald as a partner for many years in many of these initiatives, so we want to thank them for their ongoing support. We have some subsidiary smaller sponsors. We'd like to thank them as well for their contributions. I'd like to welcome some of the recipients of the initiatives of our foundation. The Ukuvula Foundation, I'm pleased to announce to this audience, has assisted numerous disadvantaged youngsters to acquire tertiary education, and that remains a passion of mine. And my colleagues, the chairman of the Ukuvula Foundation, Mr. Ahmed Mohammed, who also serves in numerous leadership positions in educational institutions. And that is our passion and focus at the Ukuvula Foundation. So just for those of you, I know you pay to attend this event. If there are any surpluses, that goes a long way in assisting to support these youngsters at university. Our support stretches beyond just financial support. We also focus on non-financial support, and in that area we intend to intensify our initiatives. I'm also pleased to announce to this audience that the Metro Security has also started a foundation. I'm currently chairman of the board of the M Holdings group of companies, and Metro Security is a subsidiary, and with not much encouragement, my colleagues and co-shareholders have agreed to, Bridget, commit percentage of the profit to a foundation that we started, Helping Hands, and they as shareholders and directors commit generously to this. So this year we've agreed to support leadership and management within education, and we started a project that we're piloting to assist school principals with the management and leadership skills, and that project is on its way. It is supported by the Metro Helping Hands, and I'm very proud that we've had the assistance from the university and Mr. Bruce Daumans, who's here. That project we intend to scale up next year. I'm mentioning all of these issues to inspire more of us to get involved. And that's the essence of why we are here today. As leaders, as entrepreneurs, again, Ellen, you've spoken about it, our entrepreneurship should allow us and empower us to make a difference in these communities where we operate. And these companies that I'm very proud to be involved with, we demonstrate that in the way we do our business. So to my colleagues from both those foundations, very, very welcome to you here today as well. I'd also like to welcome some of the learners that's here today. We have invited the learners from some of the schools that we support. It's a difficult time now, they're writing exams, but I believe some of them are attending. So welcome to all of you. I'd also like to welcome the school principals and thank you in advance for the good work that you'll do in our communities, in the schools that you're managing. So lastly, I'd like to welcome all of you. That's taken a good couple of hours out of your schedules to demonstrate and your commitment to good leadership. And I trust that you enjoy this day and that you'll walk away here with good nourishment, good inspiration to go and positively influence the sphere of control, the areas within which you operate. So again, this is a good start for all of us. Thank you all for attending, and all the best for the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Alfred da Costa. We all feel incredibly welcome. And thank you for acknowledging the partnerships that you have with the major partners, those being NMMU and the Herald. As we know, you've enabled us through creating this platform to have these kinds of interactions and share some dreams, share some aspirations, things that will eventually come out beyond these four walls. I've noticed since participating in 2014 that there have been great friendships that have come out and been formed through the attendance of the Leadership Summit. And we can only hope that the invite that you have sent to all of us to jointly partner in development, empowering people, expanding that shared learning would be one that is taken to heart. Before we proceed, ladies and gentlemen, you would have found on your tables this program, right? Can I confirm that all of us have got this program? Okay. Can I just then, with your allowance, just advise on how the early morning session before tea, we've rearranged it for the benefit of our speakers. How the proceedings are going to flow are as follows. We are going to have Mr. Alan Notcraig come first, and then he will be followed by Mr. Bonang Mohale, and then finally Dr. Tami Mazwai. So it's a bit of a difference from how you see it. We've just rearranged some chairs. We haven't really seriously culled the program. So just for your information, so that you know that you don't get surprised when Alan comes in first. And secondly, just for me to cover the protocols before we start. On your right-hand side of the venue and my left-hand side of the venue are the emergency exits, and immediately across there would be the ablution facilities, if and when nature does call, please just quietly make yourself out of the room to respond to that call of nature. And we will use those exits in the event of an evacuation, an unforeseen one and not a planned one, hopefully. You are encouraged to consult your program, as I've advised how the order of the day before tea time is going to happen, but continuously consult with your program just to check the times. When we do request you to, when we do free you up for tea break and lunch, please just observe the times that are indicated there in the program so that there's a smooth flowing and an efficient flow of the program throughout the rest of the day. As we are just about to start, we invite you to put all your cell phone devices on silent mode, and we just ask you to limit the movements, especially during the presentations and the formal program. Are you okay with that? That's not too